Strugglers, welcome back to another one of my very niche interests that I think about far more often than I should. Sometimes just before a movie ends and the credits start to roll, the audience is treated to one last little taste. One last little goodie before we go. I am talking, of course, about the musical credits scene. Maybe the most instantly recognizable for most people comes at the end of a little movie from 2001 called Shrek. Is Shrek a musical? No, it has one of the most spectacular soundtracks of all times, but this is not a musical. And despite that, they chose to end with a bang, nay, a kaboom. The story has come to an end, Shrek and Fiona are about to leave for their honeymoon, a real happily ever after, if you will, and you must. But just before it ends, right when you least expect it, we get hit with this.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. I believe, 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 I believe.
Eddie Murphy did not have to shatter the barrier between heaven and earth for this performance, but he did it. He did it for us.
I believe, 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 I believe.
When I saw this scene as a kid, I assumed that the song was written specifically for this movie. I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else but not for me. Beautifully written poetry. A perfect summation of the masterpiece that we just watched, in my humble opinion. And then Shrek 2 did the same thing at the end of that movie, and it was arguably as good as the first time. Shrek 3? I don't remember Shrek 3. Maybe they did it again. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they kinda did. There's a fourth Shrek? I definitely never saw that. Are you freaking kidding me? And again, these movies are not musicals, so it really does feel like it comes out of left field when the characters start carving up the stage like they're freaking Tate McRae or something. Now, this isn't at all uncommon for movies that are just musicals. Nobody is surprised when the cast of Mamma Mia hits you with an earth-shattering Dancing Queen / Waterloo combo. It's totally expected. They've already been doing this the whole time. They've earned this. The entire East High student body belting out "We're all in this together" at the end of High School Musical is nothing short of a religious experience. If you've ever seen a stage play or a musical in real life, this is very much that energy. It's almost like an encore where the whole cast has one last chance to go full theater kid on you, and God bless them for that. Sometimes a movie has musical elements to it, but it's not classified as a musical per se, and I think a good example of that would be Ella Enchanted.
You just can't go wrong if you follow your heart and end with the song.
Bars. No truer words have ever been spoken. That's the motto I live by. Don't go breaking my heart. Back when this movie came out in 2004 and my sister made us watch it, I did enjoy it. She didn't make us watch it. But I remember thinking Anne Hathaway in this specific scene is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire 8 years of life. I remember saying, there is no way I could ever marry somebody as gorgeous as this. And then I did. I thought love was only true in fairy tales. Pay no attention to the fact that this ending is exactly the same as the Shrek ending. I'm gonna give them a pass for that. Both movies are kind of like parodies and making fun of tropes and cliches of fairy tale type things. So you know what? Leave Ella alone, all right? Leave her alone, please. Just don't let it happen again. What's that? Chicken Little did a Don't Go Breaking My Heart credit scene literally the year after Ella Enchanted came out.
Don't go breaking my heart.
What did I just say?
Don't go breaking my heart.
Oh, put a sock in it. That's a transition phrase if I ever heard one. Sorry. I've got so many other movies to talk about, but first let's hear a very quick word from today's sponsor, Bombas. Man, look at you sitting there with your clothes on. You love wearing clothes. Who wouldn't love wearing clothes? I happen to know a place where you can get really nice clothes that also goes towards a great cause. Bombas is a clothing company that has a mission of helping those in need. They make my favorite socks that I own, my new favorite underwear as well. Honestly, they're taking over my closet. I'm nervous at what they're gonna make next. They donate the most requested items at homeless shelters, meaning that for every item that you order, an item gets donated. Over 140 million essential clothing items have already been donated, and actually in the last video that I made where I talked about Bombas, there were people in the comments that actually said they have directly benefited from those donations. So anecdotes within our own community, how great is that? So on top of being super comfortable, they also just look so good. There's so many different styles to get. And also they have these ones. So, and they just added a bunch of warmer stuff for winter. I'm still wearing the ankle socks. You know, I'm holding on for dear life to the warm weather. They've also got bras, t-shirts, slippers, whatever you need for a nice cozy time. I'm gonna say it once and for all, socks are a foolproof Christmas gift, and I'm sick of the media lying to us about that. Stop pretending that people don't love getting socks. It's an automatic crowd pleaser. I'm telling you, put some Bombas socks in your Christmas gift exchange this year. I promise they'll get fought over. So if you're interested in getting some new stuff, new customers will get 20% off their order. Just go to bombas.com/ Scott Cramer and use the code Scott Cramer at checkout. You will not regret it, and they do have a 100% happiness guarantee, meaning that if you need an exchange or a free return, they've got you covered on that, no problem. So go get yourself or a loved one some awesome socks. Thank you so much to Bombas for sponsoring this video. Thank you to you guys as always for using my links when I have them. It helps me out immensely. Now let's get back into the video. This type of thing really isn't prevalent. Like, I certainly wouldn't consider it a trope. It's just that every now and then when the stars align, we get a banger. At the end of the movie Freaky Friday, we see Lindsay Lohan's character Anna playing an original song with her band. Now this is fun because one of the main plot points is whether or not Anna's mom is gonna accept her dream to be a musician. It's like we were being teased the whole dang time. And it all came full circle just in time for Bruce Green to get his moment in the spotlight. Shout out that guy. Sometimes a movie will toy with the idea of a musical credit scene, but instead of fully committing to it, they kind of do like a behind the scenes, deleted scenes combo thing. This is on full display in Unfrosted. The whole movie is a campy stage play parody type thing as is, so I guess this isn't totally random to have in there. In a movie where goofy set design and overacting are the norm, I suppose it isn't shocking for there to be a last-second musical number. It doesn't add or take away from the film itself, so I don't know. It's inoffensive, I guess. I'm not offended, are you? One that feels totally out of place at first is Slumdog Millionaire. This movie is dark and serious and hard to watch at times. But when it's all said and done, they get the whole squad out there together again, getting down in the train station. Jai-ho! 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 How can you not love it? If you haven't seen it, the movie is based in India, and it's technically a Hollywood film, but it does have a little bit of Bollywood influence, mainly with the music and the sound design. And that ending dance number, that just puts the cherry on top. In this particular example, I'm actually really glad that they put the dancing scene at the end of the movie. It ends on a positive note, and like I said, the movie is very tense. I'm such a sucker for a dazzlingly happy ending. The Greatest Showman is one of my favorite movies of all time, and basically nothing bad ever even happens in that movie. I mean, it does. Bad stuff does happen, but it's not anything that's not immediately fixed. Don't let us sit in discomfort. How dare you? Life is uncomfortable enough. This movie is just 99% good vibes. So for Slumdog Millionaire, a movie that is so heavy, to end with such levity? Thank you so much, Slumdog Millionaire. I appreciate you. Now, there are also a handful of movies that try to get in on the fun of a musical credit, but they just have no business being there. The 40-Year-Old Virgin and There's Something About Mary. I've got a bone to pick with you. These ones don't make any sense. Why are they all singing? Riddle me that. These are just your standard run-of-the-mill comedy movies. There's no musical elements to them, and there's no illusion at all that there's gonna be some kind of grand finale. It's just absurdity for absurdity's sake. And I believe they should be punished for that. This is the end of This Is the End. Our main characters have just arrived in heaven when suddenly the Backstreet Boys show up and everybody starts dancing to Everybody. When Seth Rogen and co made this movie, they so badly wanted to be remembered for this scene. I just know it. They thought they were gonna break the internet. Oh, how quirky! They got the world-renowned boy band to show up. How random of them. I'm not amused by this. Why is this here? Normal-sized Dwayne The Rock Johnson doesn't exist. Normal-sized Dwayne The Rock Johnson can't hurt you. Oh, God! The credits of 2007's The Game Plan, starring normal-sized Dwayne The Rock Johnson, featured the entire cast and crew singing Elvis Presley's Burnin' Love. And it looks like they were all being held at gunpoint while they were filming these scenes. These guys don't want to be here. None of them. Why are you making them do this, Dwayne? I am going to give this movie a pass as well because throughout the movie, Elvis is kind of a theme. Dwayne's character has an infatuation with Elvis, and Elvis is featured on some of the soundtrack, as well as Hannah Montana for a couple of songs. The Elvis of our generation. I remember when I first saw Evan Almighty, and I thought to myself, did this movie need to be made? A spin-off for a tiny side character from a movie who already told this same story in a better way. This entire cast is full of perpetual side character actors. I mean, did they think this was gonna make money? To be fair, Steve won a Teen Choice Award for it, so I guess it was worth it. But all of that meant nothing the second the credits hit.
Thou shalt do the dance.
Everybody dance now. Everybody dance now.
Yes, I'm dancing. This is fun. You've tricked me into thinking I had a good time. Okay, the movie's not that bad. Really, the only reason that it exists is because they wanted to capitalize on Steve Carell's newfound The Office fame, but I ain't mad about it. Whatever, do whatever you want. Tom Cruise went absolutely buck wild at the end of Tropic Thunder, and I think this might be the most important thing he's ever done in his film career. This ignited something in the people of America that they still haven't quite come down from. I've talked quite a bit on this channel about how much of an influence The Lonely Island had on me when I was a kid, so imagine my shock, my glee, when I learned that they emerged from their years-long hibernation to feature in the credit song of the Lego Movie 2. Yeah, that's enough to keep me in my seat for a little bit longer. Planted. Sorry to the theater employee that's supposed to be sweeping under my feet right now. I'm watching my favorite rapper, Andy Samberg. Where were you when the teaser for Jack Black's cover of Hit Me Baby One More Time dropped? And don't lie to me. I know you remember. Kung Fu Panda 4 was not a movie I ever had any intention of watching, but then this gosh darn song tickled my brain in just the right way. My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe. The credits of the movie show this training montage with Jack's cover playing over the background of it. It's the perfect amount of fan service with returning characters. And seriously, that song, the song is ridiculous. Hit me, baby, one more time. All right, speaking of Jack Black, let's finally talk about the real reason I'm making this video. One of my all-time favorite movies is School of Rock, and it's also, I think, the perfect example of this phenomenon. Every part of it adds up to the perfect musical credit scene. If you're unfamiliar with School of Rock, it's about a deadbeat wannabe rock star who impersonates a substitute teacher and tricks his students into competing in a Battle of the Bands competition so that he can live out his rock star fantasy. If somehow you haven't seen it, that might sound messed up and dark to you, but the movie is incredible. It shows the journey of these kids in a stuffy prep school learning how to open up more and embrace their gifts and their differences. The main character, Dewey, has this great arc where he becomes more, responsible, learns how to care about other people more than himself. Teachers, parents, pretty much everybody he comes in contact with loosens up and remembers what it's like to be carefree and just have fun again. It's charming, it's hilarious, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. What more can you ask for? I highly recommend it. Well, as the movie comes to a close, we can actually see that Jack Black's character has started his own after-school music program. And as the credits start to roll, we are gifted with this wholesome, unscripted freestyle from Jack and all of the kids. Everybody gets a chance to show off their real-life talents. Jack Black gets to be absolute peak Jack Black. And even though it's kind of a fourth wall breaking wink to the audience, this genuinely feels like what I imagined the after school program would be like in this universe. A fun, high energy jam session with your friends.
It's time for my solo.
Look at that name there. I do not know that guy. Plays in my head every single time the credits start to roll on any movie, and that has happened since I was like 7 years old.
Look at that name there. Look at that name there. I do not know that guy.
Every single time. I love this movie and I love this scene. It's just good, clean, rib-tickling fun. Another thing is that it lasts for the entirety of the credits. A lot of the other movies I've talked about had a fun little thing at the beginning of the credits, but then eventually it fades to black and just does the regular white text thing. Not School of Rock. Our eyes are glued to the movie the entire time, all the way to the very end when they threaten to prosecute you. If it were up to me, every single movie would end with musical credits, but it's not up to me. I know. Guys, I know, okay? I wish it was too. But there's more than one way to skin a cat, and directors have come up with all sorts of fun ways to keep audiences engaged during what used to be the most boring part of the movie. The Hangover has what might be the best payoff of all time during its credits. I actually think the idea of the guys finding a camera full of photos from the night they just spent the entire movie trying to remember is what made this movie so memorable for me. It would have been a fun comedy with an interesting story no matter what, but the full circle peek behind the curtain really makes this feel like something special. My brother and I used to make stuff with our cousins every now and then when they would come to town back in high school, and we copied this concept for one of the videos that we made. It's just like a nice little reward for anybody who sticks around. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is so visually clever. The entire movie takes place within a school play that's being put on by the teachers. So when it ends, the credits show the actors out of costume, like as the teachers in the gymnasium. And this is so wholesome. It brings me back to being a kid when the faculty would do like skits during pep rallies. Really makes you miss the epic highs and lows of high school football, dude. And come on now, if this was my principal, I might need detention. I don't got a hall pass, Teach. Send me to the office. Another fairly common thing for a while was for movies to include blooper reels at the end. That's got the classic school project vibe to it that I always liked. If I was ever super freaked out by a horror movie, I just pictured the characters doing a blooper reel during the credits, and it like totally demystified the whole thing, made it not scary anymore. Little life hack for you guys. Quick side note, do you remember at the end of Toy Story 2 when the prospector kind of insinuated that he would get the Barbie dolls in the next movie as long as they sucked him?
And so you two are absolutely identical? You know, I'm sure I could get you a part in Toy Story 3. I'm sorry, are we back?
That was pretty wild, huh? I watched the whole thing on Disney Plus looking for that clip, and it appears that Disney has removed it. So, probably a good move. There's also the idea where the credits will retell the story through some kind of cool visuals, or sometimes we even get like an epilogue for what might happen after the story ends. So many good examples of this. WALL-E comes to mind immediately. And A Series of Unfortunate Events is my all-time favorite credits in terms of like art style. It's so menacing and eerie, but genuinely beautiful at the same time. How dare you make me feel such conflicting emotions? And as much as I've praised musical credits in this video, do you remember when I did that? I also have a special place in my heart for movies that do literally the exact opposite. Tranquility, serenity, a static shot with no extravagant musical number, like, whew, okay, we can decompress after that roller coaster that we just went on. We're safe here. We're cozy. It's okay. We're gonna be all right. Look at me. We're gonna be all right. So yeah, maybe I have a weird obsessive interest in this thing that I've never heard anybody else so much as bring up in casual conversation. Do I respect a director's decision to just maintain the status quo and go with the scrolling white text on a black screen? Absolutely not. No, I don't respect you, but I am always willing to offer forgiveness. It's never too late to do better. Some of you might have noticed that for the last however long, I don't even know, I've been adding my own fun little bonus clips to the end of my videos when the Patreon stuff is scrolling by. The culture on YouTube for years now has been to just end the video as abruptly as possible to maximize your watch time percentage and, you know, hack the algorithm or whatever. But I heard some advice from an old friend once that really stuck with me. You just can't go wrong if you follow your heart and end with a song. Don't go breaking my heart. Hey, I couldn't if I... Hello? And? Oh honey, if I get restless. Is that Leah Michelle from Glee? Hey, don't go breaking my heart. You take the way. You get to sing all the good. I was hoping to sing both actually. Oh honey, when you knock on my door, I gave you my key. I'm just gonna, you know what? We'll just roll with it. Ooh, and nobody knows it. Nobody knows when I was down.
I was your clown.
Ooh, okay, Leah. And nobody knows it. Nobody knows right from the start.
I gave you my heart.
Oh, I gave you my heart. Woo, we're having fun now, Leah. So don't go breaking my heart. Don't go breaking my heart.